And on the topic of, let's talk about diet and longevity. So what do you think are the best foods to keep us young? Any
Well,
tips? It's a bit of a general.
well, here I want people to memorize these 5 words and write them down
Okay.
because the most proven methodology to extend the human lifespan is moderate caloric restriction in the context of micronutrient excellence. So those are the 5 words: moderate caloric restriction, micronutrient excellence. And I'm saying when we have the micronutrient exposure to the full symphony of nutrients humans require, then it naturally suppresses our appetite and we feel satisfied with the right amount of calories and we no longer desire to overeat. So we have to be well nourished without taking in excessive calories. Now, the foods that consistently show in the scientific literature the most protection against later life cancers and premature aging, I give that acronym GBOMS, GBOMBS, which stands for greens, beans or legumes, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. So the greens, of course, are the salad, but also broccoli and artichokes and asparagus and string beans and zucchini, all the green foods. And number 2, the beans include lentils and split peas and zucchini beans and soybeans, all the beans family, legume family. And then onions, scallions, garlic, different types of berries and low sugar fruits, and seeds like flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, which have dramatic anti-cancer effects. So GBOM. So I want people to eat the salad, for example, and put some cruciferous greens on top, like bok choy, kale, collards, arugula. Put some green, and then put a nut and seed based dressing with some scallion or onion in there too, to
I
get
did that
those.
today.
You did that today.
Yeah, with my big baker's bowl. So I'm quite proud of myself. Definitely following your tips today. Definitely.
Great.
And another thing about speaking of aging, we produce less collagen and our skin loses elasticity as we age. And there are many supplements that contain animal collagen. There are people who think that you need to consume collagen to produce your own collagen. What do you think about that? Obviously, on a plant-based diet, we're not consuming animal collagen, and people have this perception that vegans are going to lose elasticity or something. What do you say to that?
It's marketing. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's not. This is not proven scientific data to show that keeps people longer. You know, we're talking about anti-aging phenomenon here, and the key here is and one of the secrets, and we could say the most foundational sciences that shows the anti-aging effects is eating less animal protein and eating more plant protein. It's not just get rid of the animal protein, moving vegan. It's not cutting back on animal products, eating more bread and pasta and potato and rice and fruit. No, it's actually eating more high protein plant foods that maintain your bones, your collagen, and the anti-aging effects and keep the IGF-1 not too high and not excessively low. And we're talking about high protein plants like hemp seeds, broccoli florets, lentils, soybeans. We're talking here quinoa. We're talking here about almonds, pumpkin seeds. We're talking about all these protein-rich plant foods, including the soybean, including edamame, dried soybeans that you soak and make into soups and chilies, and even tempeh have dramatic effects. Contrary to what people hear on the internet, there's dramatic benefits to eating some anti-estrogenic effects on breast tissue and prostate tissue, and anti-aging effects from eating some whole soybean in the form of edamame or dried soybeans that you make into a dish on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of split ideas about soya. I think people don't know if it's good or bad. I think it creates a lot of confusion, I think.
Yeah, there's been a lot of backlash and a lot of billions of dollars spent to bash the plant-based movement for the meat and dairy industry, and they've used a lot of soy bashing because isolated soy protein and processed foods made from soy can have negative effects and raise IGF-1 almost to the same degree as meat does. So we're not saying to use, we don't want people to eat potato chips instead of a potato. We're not having soy fake foods, but the real soybean, The studies on the real soybean and using that as part of your meals show powerful anti-cancer, longevity promoting effects, and the data is consistent. Shouldn't be controversial. The studies have an overwhelming amount of evidence that these are lifespan enhancing foods.
Are there any foods you would recommend to prevent, let's say, the aches and pains and stiffness that's associated with aging?
Well, there's not one dietary portfolio that's going to prevent cancer, and another dietary portfolio that prevents dementia, and another dietary portfolio that protects against heart disease. Or, we're talking about the same ideal longevity promoting dietary portfolio that contains these categories of foods, protects against all chronic diseases and all forms of aging, including macular degeneration and skin premature aging and osteoarthritis of your joints and collagen and cartilage destruction. It's the same program that has these beneficial effects on tissues. Now, some people, of course, they could be at higher risk of, let's say, osteoarthritis or wear and tear of the meniscal cartilage in their knees because they pronate and they're walking improperly, their feet are out of alignment, and sometimes proper posture, the right orthotic, holding their, we're talking about having proper body alignment to reduce wear and tear on certain joints. It's not 100% dietary related. Sometimes it's structurally related, but basically it's 90% of the time people are just aging prematurely because they're eating improperly and their whole body ages simultaneously. Their cartilage ages, their collagen ages, when their heart is aging and when their brain is shrinking, they're aging the whole body simultaneously.